So about a month ago, I picked up the keys to our new home, and after a few weeks of moving everything in and settling in properly, I'm excited to be back with a new video today, sharing with you everything that I eat in a day as a vegan, as well as sharing with you some parts of this beautiful space that I am absolutely loving. A big thank you to my friends at Squarespace for making this one possible. Good morning, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to another video. I hope you've been keeping so very well, and a big welcome to my new home. I am really excited to be filming today. I'm going to bring you along and show you what I'm eating in a day as a vegan, just a simple day of eats at home, and I'm going to show you some bits and pieces of my new home. I appreciate your patience so much over the past few weeks. I was down in Melbourne visiting my mum, visiting Cara, spending time with friends. And I came back. I have been getting unpacked and getting this house organized, and yeah, finally in the position to be able to film. So really excited to be back to it. As usual, I'm starting my day with an oat milk hot chocolate. I went out to a cafe to get this morning, and I also was on the hunt for a fresh loaf of sourdough. I didn't acquire any, they had run out, so I'm gonna try and find some scraggly ends of the bread to make myself some breakfast. I think I'm just gonna like pile some things on toast for breakfast. We'll see what we've got going on, and then I'm gonna get into showing you some of this home, which I'm really excited about. So I can't quite remember how much detail I went into about why my partner and I were choosing to move, but it came down to a few things where it just kind of felt like it made sense. The first one being our rent got increased at our old place, and so therefore this place ended up being more affordable than what they were wanting us to pay at our older place. Another major factor is I was honestly really struggling to film in that kitchen. I didn't get a lot of natural light in any capacity, and it would just throw my work schedule completely out of whack, and I was really struggling to get into any form of a routine. So I really wanted something that had a lot more natural lighting. So what I'm about to show you is our living and kitchen kind of area where I will be doing most, if not all, of my filming, and I'm really excited by this space. You'll see a few things that just honestly have made us feel like we have leveled up. My partner and I are both feeling really happy here already, and just really happy with the decision to move. We loved the location of our old place, so we were a bit like, oh, we don't know whether we should, but it's all worked out really well. And yeah, you'll see the few things that I especially love, but there's also still some things to do, as you'll see. Trust the cat to always find the sunny spot in the house. Honestly, you are such a little sweetie. Okay, so let's start with the kitchen. I feel like the first thing to point out is that it does look quite small, and we have some plans and some furniture arriving, which are going to increase this space. But the things that we love so much about this kitchen, a dishwasher. I haven't had a dishwasher since I lived with my mum. So I think I've been living out of home for 6 years now, and I do food blogging for a living and cook a lot. And this thing genuinely has changed my life, not to be dramatic. but it definitely has. Another thing we love about this place, we have an oven that works properly. Our old oven was not working in the way that an oven typically should, and that obviously made it a bit of a struggle for me with my food blogging as well. And we also have a pantry, which we didn't have at our old place either. So a lot of things that have made cooking a lot more enjoyable, but it is going to get even better. So as you can see, we're currently existing with all of this kitchen stuff on the floor, and that is because we are going to be getting a kitchen island, and I think I'll include it in my next video and show you like the vibe we're going for. But essentially we're going to put our own kitchen island in here so that we're going to have a bigger kitchen, more storage, and we're also going to have an extra bench space for me to film at, because I have some real goals. Like, I'm feeling a lot more inspired now being in this space, honestly, because the lighting is just like literally constantly good. It's actually amazing. So that's our plan. I think it's going to come next week, or my boyfriend's going to go pick it up next week. And if so, then I'll be like installing that and setting it up and all that kind of stuff. And that is going to make life even better, even though we already love this kitchen so much. It is only going to get better. And yeah, I'm really ready to not be using this as our current storage situation. So as you can see, it is a pretty simple layout, and we're not fully settled in yet, but feeling really, really excited. I just love the natural light in this space so much. It might sound kind of trivial, but a lot of the time I was filming in low lighting and just feeling really disappointed by how the content looked and stuff like that, but also not wanting to, I guess, get rid of the work that I'd done. And I really have felt that it was affecting my mental health, not feeling proud of the content that I was putting out, and really wanting to grow in my career, but not feeling like I had the filming space to do so. I feel like anyone who makes content online can probably relate to that feeling of not feeling super happy with it or not having the right lighting. And yeah, I guess it can sound trivial, but it honestly was impacting me quite a lot. And so I'm really grateful for my boyfriend, who, you know, was just fully like, yes, like this is going to be so good for you and stuff like that. And obviously it, you know, he loves this place as well, but you know, moving is a lot. It's really stressful. It's a lot financially, but yeah, we're hoping that we can stay in this beautiful space. It is just so gorgeous, and yeah, I'm feeling really, really good about it. So I feel like, today actually ended up being the perfect day to film, to be honest, because we get to do something fun today, which is bake a cake. It is my boyfriend's sister's 30th birthday this weekend, and she is also vegan. She is a very, very sweet, lovely, lovely woman, and I'm just very grateful in general that my boyfriend's family are so lovely. Anyway, not to go off on a tangent, which I love to do, but yeah, I'm going to bake her a cake for this weekend, and I'm really, really excited about it. Before we get into it, I want to say a big thank you to my friends at Squarespace for very kindly sponsoring today's video. As you know, I'm so grateful to be working with Squarespace in my ongoing partnership with them. I host and design my website using Squarespace, and I have been doing so for many, many years on end now, and I imagine I will be for many, many years into the future, for as long as I have a website, honestly, because it's the most easy, user-friendly, functional website to use. A bit of a fun fact is that probably my least favorite part of my job is like uploading blog posts and writing recipes and stuff like that. Like, it's just like my least favorite part of my job. Everyone has a least favorite part of their job, I suppose. And that was mine, but honestly, using Squarespace genuinely makes it so easy to do and so quick to do as well. And that's like a big thing when I'm wearing many hats and juggling many different tasks that I need to do. Having something that's just like super functional and user-friendly makes the workflow so much better. It's also really easy to set up an online store and sell products or services if that's something that you are looking to do. And genuinely, anyone that I meet who asks me for their recommendations on like how to build a website and what to do, I always recommend Squarespace because I genuinely love it and I'm a paying customer of theirs. So if you're ever looking to host or design your own website, website, I genuinely recommend checking out Squarespace. You can go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, if you go to squarespace.com/AmandaDux and use my code, which is AmandaDux, it gets you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. All right, let's get into baking this delicious vegan cake. What a lovely way to spend my Friday morning. Ooh. Okay, so my cakes have cooled and they're ready to be iced, and I also made this chocolate icing. So this I just whipped together. Like, I feel like when I make icing, I honestly usually just completely wing it and go for it. So I will leave like the rough measurements of what I did for this icing down below. As for the cake, I used another recipe that I found on the internet, so I will link that below if you do want to try making a vanilla cake. Something I wanted to quickly note, just as like a little, I suppose, gentle reminder, is that like, I think a lot of the time people think that when they go vegan, they need to eat like completely whole foods plant-based, which I love eating whole food plant-based, but I also have room in my diet for enjoying things like baking and having cakes and desserts and all of that kind of stuff, like junk food basically, you know. And like sometimes I feel this like frustration when I go to a cafe and like the only vegan option they have is like a really whole food based thing. And again, it's like, it's nice to have a vegan option. I definitely don't mean to complain. My point is that like people have this perception that veganism and whole food plant-based are like the same thing, and I just want to remind you that like you can make almost everything vegan that was non-vegan. Like when it comes to baking, honestly, anything I've ever wanted to make, I've been able to veganize really simply. And especially in Australia, we're super lucky with the amount of like ingredients we have accessible to us and stuff like that. And I just encourage you that if you are someone who is vegan, whether you're new to it or not, or if you're just trying to incorporate more plants into your diet and eat more vegan food, like don't exclude the things like birthday cake from your diet because of that. Like you don't need to make like a completely whole foods based cake in order for it to be a birthday cake. Like you can just make like what people would call a traditional birthday cake and like make it with vegan ingredients, you know. And that's just something that I think can help contribute to like having a healthy relationship with food. Like I honestly attest my healthy relationship with food to like, I guess, quite a handful of things, but one of them is that key word of balance, and also just like not restricting things from my diet. Like I don't feel restricted in any capacity being vegan, even though technically like I am excluding animal products from my diet, yada yada, but like I have never once felt restricted on a vegan diet. And I truly believe a big part of that is because I feel free to include things like, you know, a cake made with sugar and oil and vegan butter and all that kind of stuff in my diet. Anyway, a bit of a tangent, but just something that I remembered that I wanted to mention just as a little gentle reminder. I'm going to get into icing this cake now. I am really excited. The icing tastes so good, and yeah, it's just fun putting a cake together. Okay, a moment for the cake. Can't believe how quickly this came together today actually, and you know, I know it's not the most perfect looking cake, but I'm so happy with it and I really hope that she is going to absolutely love it. I honestly love making homemade cakes for people and I haven't done one in a while, so yeah, I'm really excited to share that with everyone. I'm gonna sort that out and get it put away and ready for tomorrow, and then I'm gonna clean up and then get into making lunch. I'm so hungry right now and I'm really craving this stir fry that I have been eating on repeat for the past few weeks, so I thought that I would share it with you today. It's literally so ridiculously easy to make and has become such a go-to for me, so I thought that it would be a good opportunity to share it with you today and also for me to eat it because it's just so good. I think I'm gonna make it with noodles today as well instead of having it with rice because I'm really feeling some noodles. So to make these stir-fried noodles, I start with some onion as well as some garlic, some ginger and some soy tempeh, which I cut up. I am crushing the garlic. It is just so satisfying crushing and slicing garlic like this, in my opinion. Also do that to the ginger. Then into a frying pan I add olive oil and I first add in the tempeh and the onion and I fry that up for a few minutes. Then I add in the garlic as well as the ginger and a little bit of soy sauce and I continue frying it up on a medium to high heat. Then I'm gonna get my greens. I've got some pak choy, some broccoli and some Brussels sprouts, and I cut this up, cutting all of the florets off the broccoli and cutting the Brussels sprouts into halves. Then I'm transferring all of this except for the leaves from the pak choy in and frying them up, then adding in the leaves last minute and frying that up. Then I am boiling some water, and once it's all boiled I add in my ramen noodles, cook them for a few minutes before draining and adding in with the veggies and the tempeh and the sauce, and I just continue frying this up for a couple of minutes. I also make a peanut butter sauce with some smooth peanut butter, some soy sauce as well as garlic powder and onion powder and some water to thin it out, and I mix this together until it is really nice and smooth. So when it comes to serving the noodles, I very simply put these into a bowl and then I drizzle this delicious peanut butter sauce over the top. Just adds this extra burst of flavor which I absolutely love, and I just love noodles very much. Okay, so for dinner tonight I am going to be cooking for my boyfriend and I, and I've decided I'm gonna cook nachos tonight, which I'm really excited for because a few months ago I tried making a lentil and walnut mince for the first time and like instantly fell in love with it because it was so easy to make. It's such a good source of plant-based protein and it's super delicious. If you're someone like me who's not super into like mock meats, I think this is a really good alternative that you might really love, so I definitely encourage giving it a go. Other than that, it's going to be a simple vegan nachos. We've got some vegan cheese, we're going to do some guac, salsa, all of the good things, and it's going to be a really delicious and hearty dinner. I am really excited to get into it. So I'm still evidently figuring out the lighting situation in the new home, but I start by putting some oil into a frying pan over medium to high heat, adding in some brown onions and frying that up for a few minutes. Then I'm adding in some crushed walnuts as well as soy sauce, some taco seasoning and tomato paste, and mixing this all together well. I'm then adding in some water to thin it out and continue stirring away before I add in the brown lentils and continue mixing this all together to make this beautiful lentil and walnut mince. Then onto a plate I put some corn chips, put some store-bought salsa on top as well as some vegan cheese, and then I layer on more corn chips, add more store-bought salsa, which was so spicy by the way. It said it was mild and I was like, wow, I'm an absolute baby with spice. Clearly, this has completely humbled me. And I put that in the oven. Whilst it's in the oven, I am cutting up some red onion as well as some tomato and some cucumber. I'm dicing it all quite finely. And then I'm transferring all of this into a bowl and adding in some lemon juice as well as salt and pepper and mixing it all together to make this lovely fresh kind of salsa. Once the nachos are done, I remove them from the oven, top it with the lentil and walnut mixture, as well as the fresh salsa. Then I also added on some guac as well as some coconut yogurt as kind of like our sour cream. This was an absolutely loaded plate of nachos. I went a little bit crazy and we did struggle to finish this, but it was a really beautiful end to the day, just having dinner with my boyfriend, which was super lovely. Thanks so much for being here and watching my first video in my new home. I look forward to seeing you next week with another video. Have a beautiful day.